Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara, and you have landed on Astrocast. This is your weekly forecast from October 8th through the 14th. Okay, so I'm going to just put the theme out there really quickly. The theme is intensity. Okay, so this whole week is moving up toward this new moon solar eclipse. So we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse on the 14th, which I'll do a whole recording for. And then after that, toward the end of the month, we have a full moon lunar eclipse. So I talked a little bit about this in the full moon report. So full moon Aries, last full moon before we experience eclipses. Eclipses bring about change all the time. All the time. There's always change when there's eclipses coming. But this week, there's a couple things that happen. And I really want you to be prepared. At least, remember when I host these, right? Or when I talk about these, I'm always going to talk a little bit about the general cosmic orchestra, right? Every single thing that I talk about is in generalities, okay? However, depending upon where your birth chart, so the moment you were born, everybody has a divine blueprint. The moment you were born, how that matches up to the cosmic orchestra will define how you feel and how you interpret, either consciously or unconsciously, these lunar cycles. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to get started with today, which is, I believe today, yes, October 9th. I had to check the date. So October 9th, Venus is going to enter Virgo. Now, remember, Venus is all about our value, what we love, what we value, our finances, all of that. So when Venus moves out of Leo, which is, loyalty, love, Leo is about, this demonstrating our love, right? Or maybe feeling into our love. Venus in Virgo is more about a sense of earning. Like we're here because I earned this. It's not because, well, I deserve this. I earned this, right? Not only that, Venus in Virgo is a little softer, but Venus in Leo, Venus spent so much time in Leo because it was in retrograde during that time. Okay, so there was a lot of opportunity to look at our relationships that we have to money, to other people, to our value system, right? So almost like, well, I deserve this. This is why I'm here. And now it's a little softer, but there is focus or invitation for focus toward what you've done to get here, what you've put into process to get where you are. And I hesitate to use the word get, but I'm using it because I hope you kind of interpret what I'm trying to say. Now, on the 10th, there's a few things. So a couple things happening. First of all, I'm going to rewind for a second. On October 8th, Mars squared Pluto. Okay, so this energy, it's going to stay that way for a little bit more time. When any planets square each other, there's a sense of tension, a sense of shifting. Pluto is about transformation, empowerment, inner transformation, looking at the deeper meaning of things, intensity. So when Mars squares Pluto, and I do this because it's creating a 90-degree angle in the sky, there's a push toward that. So there's an initiation toward that intensity. It's like something that maybe you've been avoiding that you kind of have to pay attention to now, right? So now forward motion, 10-10, two things happening. Venus is opposite Saturn. Okay, so this is Venus again. This is a big Venus week, by the way. Okay, Venus opposite Saturn. So when planets are opposite one another, same thing as square, they tend to create this intensity. Okay, so with Venus opposite Saturn, it really is about focusing on the practicalities of your life. Why? Because Venus is now in Virgo. Okay. Venus is now, looking at the softer side. Like what's the practicalities of how I got here? What do I need to do to focus on harmony in my life, in finances, in my value system, in my relationships? Okay. So Venus opposite Saturn this week. On the same day, Pluto is going to go direct. Now, okay, Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. So this has been a whole Pluto cycle since 2008. Some of us remember what happened in 2008 with the whole fall of the economy, right? I know I remember. Okay, so lots of big shifts in 2008. Now Pluto's been in Capricorn, all the way. It moved out of Capricorn earlier in the year into Aquarius, and we saw a little softening. Then it went retrograde back into Capricorn. So now it's sitting just about to go direct in the sign of Capricorn, which means it's going to start moving forward again back into Aquarius. But Pluto is so slow. Pluto moves so slow. And so it's going to take a little bit, right? So when Pluto goes direct, and it's a super small planet. It's very out there, right? So it's not super close to any other planets, super small, right? Super small, but when it changes direction, we feel it. Whether we know it or not, we feel it. We feel a sense of inner transformation. We feel a deeper sense of our emotions. We feel our feelings a little bit more. We can feel this sense of like purification, like things that we've been like working at on a subterranean level of our life, right? We're like, well, I kind of feel this thing. I kind of feel like I should change the thing, whatever the thing is. Now it's Pluto moving direct is going to ask you, okay, start putting this into action. Plus, remember, Mars is squaring Pluto. Okay, so Mars is like, yeah, time to move in a different direction, time to look at things a little differently. So how to work with this Pluto Mars energy is to move your body, right? Like be out, sweat, move, dance, just discharge the energy. Breath work is great, right? So we want to alchemize this tension in a supportive way. Okay. So it's actually beautiful. And the numerology 1010, right? Like 10 is instant manifestation, right? So kind of cool that it lands on October 10th. Not too bad. So it will bring up unconscious thoughts. It will bring up old stuff. It will ask you to look at things from a soul's perspective instead of an ego perspective. And it'll ask you to be empowered from any kind of limiting beliefs that you have been just clinging to. And I think that, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we all kind of know, we get to a point in our life where we all kind of have an idea of what our limiting beliefs are, right? Well, I hope we do, because that's kind of, for me, that's kind of an intention in life, is to kind of know where I trip myself up, right? And then to be able to, at some point in our life, see it coming, see it happening, and say, oh no, I don't want to do that this time. I want to do it a little differently. That's this energy. So sometimes before that happens, that intensity builds up, right? So, when we're about to embark on something new, when we're about to do something that's kind of out of our complacency, right? Or our comfort zone, I should say. All those things underneath the surface, those fears, those limiting beliefs, those doubts, all those things, they just like come up to kind of test us. That's the energy of this week. It's kind of intense, right? But it's beautiful, I promise. Two more things I want to talk about. October 12th, Mars is going to enter Scorpio. Now, Mars, I want to say this was important for me to share, because when Mars enters Scorpio, Mars is super happy in Scorpio. Mars loves being in Scorpio. And so to have all that energy, that Mars energy in the sign of Scorpio, it's like, Oh, Mars can work at a beneficial level, at its optimal level, right? If Mars were, say, in Leo, it might be a little too, it might be like a pressure cooker. But with Mars and Scorpio, it's like, yeah, this feels right. So with this energy, drop into your intuition, listen to your intuition, get quiet. Everything is like right outside the surface of your ruminating mind. So you have to move beyond it a little bit, whatever that means for you. Okay, October 13th, Mars is trining Saturn. Again, Mars, this is a Mars and Venus week. Intense, intense, intense. 13, Friday the 13th gets such a bad rap. And it's actually one of the most powerful energies. It's the number of the divine feminine. We have 13 moons in a year, right? We have 13 lunation cycles. There's so much wrapped up in the numerology of 13. And Friday the 13th, this is a Venus number. 13 is Venus. Venus is Friday. Friday the 13th is amazing. This is a beautiful, beautiful day where Mars is trining Saturn. So it's bringing us a little bit of balance before we move into the last thing I want to say, which is our new moon solar eclipse in Libra. Okay, and I'm going to do a whole report on this, right? But what I want to say is the solar eclipse, first of all, it's a south node solar eclipse. So it's like clip to the past, opening up energy for new beginnings, right? So there's always an ending, always a potential for a new beginning. And it's also conjunct Mercury. And I'll go through the whole thing in the new moon report. But when the new moon solar eclipse is conjunct Mercury, this is communication, this is lower mind, this is day to day. So we have all this intensity leading up to the new moon solar eclipse. So my invitation to you this week is to use your downtime, use your quiet time. I'm reading a book right now, and one of the practices for this week, I thought it was so perfect to say, either take a down hour for yourself, take a down 3 hours, or take an entire down day. And by down day, I mean, don't talk on the phone, don't watch TV, don't read don't even read a book. Just be with everything. So I'm gonna try it this week. I'm gonna try it a couple times. I'm gonna go for the hour, and then I'm gonna go for a few hours, just 1 or 2 days, and just see what comes up for you. It's a perfect day for it, especially if you are a perfect week, especially if you do feel intensity, right? Because you can examine it, you can move through it, you can examine it. Okay. Super happy about this week. Really happy to be back. And I will be on the bluff this week at Alila Maria doing our new moon solar eclipse sound healing. We do start a little earlier, so please make sure you check the schedule if you are coming. And if you want your chart read, reach out to me, danadamara.com. Happy to read your chart. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.